1986. George Foreman, the first fight you trained him, fighting in here against Ron Lyle in Las Vegas. This is coming off the defeat in Zaire against Ali. What did you have to work on? Did you have to work on George's body or his head?
His head. First of all, it wasn't the first fight. He had 2 exhibitions before that. He called them exhibitions. He wanted to prove to himself that he could still fight. So he fought a Jody Ballard, for example, in the Concord Hotel. It was
name I shall never forget.
Supposed to be an exhibition. Wasn't an exhibition. They fought with legal weight gloves, the whole bit, and he knocked Jody Ballard out. But he needed those confidence builders going into the Lyle fight. How
about Lyle? How tough a fighter, how tough an opponent did you expect him to be?
Well, no, I knew he was a good, well-conditioned fighter, and he could punch with either hand. But I also knew what I had with George. And I actually didn't expect Lyle to put up the performance that he did in the fight.
What was George like then? Was he easy to train? Did he listen?
No, George was never an easy guy to train. That's why the first George Foreman, not the one we're talking about now, he never learned to relax. That's why in his fights, be in great shape, everything else, 4 or 5 rounds, he'd start to get tired because he didn't know how to relax. And basically, that's what you had to try to do with him, get him to understand that it wasn't the earth-shaking that he had to go out and knock the guy right out.
Was this, what we're about to see, one of the great rounds in the history of boxing?
Oh, I think it was one of the, yes, it could have been the great round in the history of boxing. But another thing people don't realize, in one of the rounds of that fight, the timekeeper got excited, I guess, and cut the round short. And George was really getting the best of it when he cut the round short. So I think if Foreman would have lost that fight, he would have made a couple of $1 million suing the Nevada Athletic Commission.
But it saves all the great. 4th round between Lyle and Foreman. Could you see it developing into a great round? And what was your reaction in the corner?
Oh, I'll tell you, I really got scared to death. I mean, whoever's going to hit who was going to maybe score a knockout. And right at the very end of the round, had to pick George up off his face and bring him back to the corner and revive him. First revive him, get him so he was lucid and could look at you and tell you you can tell him what to do. And he went out and he did it in the next round.
I mean, the fighters, obviously weren't stopping to think. Were you still able to think clearly in the corner?
Oh yeah.
You weren't getting hit.
No, I wasn't getting hit, and I was watching the action unfold, and I was trying to figure out how George can get to Lyle without Lyle nailing him back.
What did you yell?
Well, actually, what we went to in that other round was just setting them up with a good stiff left jab and then getting them out of there.
But during that round?
During the 4th round, I was just watching the action and hoping that George survived till I could get him back to the corner.
When he did come back to the corner, when you got him revived, what did you tell him?
I told him, George, do you want this fight more than he wants it, or does he want it more than you want it? You want to win it? Yeah, I want to win it. And then we just went into a couple of little technical things, and he went out and he won it.
He went out and won the fight. Was he the best puncher you ever saw?
No, George is what I call a clubber. He's a very, very big, strong guy, but he clubs you to death. But a great puncher is similar to like an Ernie Banks in baseball, 165 pounds that can hit a ball 450 feet. George never really had to snap at the end of the punch, like a Joe Frazier could take you out with one left hook. That's what I call a great puncher.
Was Frazier the best puncher?
I think so, yeah.